Yeah, that's crazy.
And see this right.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Shabal. What's going on with you? If I get everybody like and share the class, let everybody know we live, man. Like and share the class. Hey, shalom, shalom, Lord Christ. All right, Most High Christ. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The school address in Memphis, Tennessee is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The call-in number to the school is 901-249-0085. 901-249-0085. You brothers and sisters tuning in, if you have family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the Israelite School of UPK. Since 1969, we have been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. And with that said, we like to do with these classes every week is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed inside of this book in order to facilitate us coming back to being the people that He called us to be, and reclaiming our rightful place on the earth as kings, priests, prophets, princesses, and daughters of Zion. That being said, I'd like to open up the class to questions. Any brothers and sisters have any questions, type them in online. If you're in the class, just raise your hand. Um, if we don't have any questions, we're going to get into tonight's topic tonight, which is the truth about Halloween. For tonight's class, I'm going to read from an article that I wrote. I want to say maybe it had to be about years ago. We used to have a blog in the school that I would write articles for every week. And this one particularly, I wrote about Halloween, breaking down the origins of it, where it comes from. So we're going to read from that verbatim tonight, go to some scriptures. I'm not going to spend long on it. If there's no questions, class may be only about a half an hour long, all right? So if you do have questions, go ahead and type them in. Um, if y'all could like and share the class, let everybody know we live. We'll give you a few seconds, and then we're going to get right into it, all right? We down here in Memphis, Tennessee, man. And the Most High, like it's been kind of warm uh the past few weeks leading up to this week. But as soon as this so-called Halloween we're rolling around, the Lord and brought a cold front through. It is freezing cold in Memphis, Tennessee right now. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the country. I think it's this cold front maybe across the Midwest right now. I don't know if it's hit the East Coast yet. It's a lucky, but this cold is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai for it though, because this evil, you know what I'm saying, think this evil Halloween, maybe some children to get spared tonight. Maybe there's some women, that won't get raped drunk at a party. Maybe there's some folks whose lives will be spared because the Lord saw fit for folks to not be able to go out and enjoy, the evil that's being celebrated tonight. And I know for a lot of people, particularly, Christians or people that's, with religious backgrounds, Halloween is one of those holidays that gets looked at like, oh, it's so evil because of the ghosts and the goblins and the ghouls and whatever is celebrated. But the reality is, Halloween is not more evil than Thanksgiving. Halloween is not more evil than these other, so-called holidays that our oppressor celebrates. Um, but Halloween is one of the ones that the religious people look at as being evil because it's outwardly celebrating, witches and ghouls and goblins when hell, all these holidays in America are celebrating witches and ghouls and goblins. They just make it seem like Halloween is the most evil one because I guess it's blatant and outright, with the vampires and werewolves. But hell, ain't nothing more scary than a white man celebrating his independence. Ain't nothing more scarier than the devil bringing in the new year. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing more scarier than, what, Valentine's Day, a devil trying to, woo you to loving him. Like, all these holidays are evil and satanic, but they try to make Halloween seem as though it's the worst one. But we're going to go ahead and get into the history of this holiday tonight. Again, so we can go ahead and get into it. Again, I'm reading from an article that I wrote some years ago pertaining to Halloween. So we can go ahead and get into it, all right? So all across this country today, on October 31st, people are gathering and sending their children out dressed up in costumes, you know what I'm saying? Pretending to be, their favorite superhero or, some guy they saw on TV. I seen, all the different news channels and the internet show you all of the people trying to dress up for Halloween this year. Well, on the 31st of every year here in America, kids hit the streets to set up for tricks and treats. Halloween or All Hallows Evening is a holiday that is celebrated in America and in the Western nations, right? Halloween is a Christianized version of a Gaelic/Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter or the darker half of the year. This festival was always held from sundown November 31st to sundown November 1st, and it was called Samhain. The Catholic Church adopted this date in 1835 for its All Saints Holy Day. All right. So the origins of Halloween is that it goes back to a Gaelic or Celtic uh, winter harvest festival or fall harvest festival. We're going to get into the details of that now. Samhain was the time when cattle were brought back down from the summer pastures and when livestock was slaughtered for the winter. Special bonfires were lit as the slaughtered cattle was cooked as villagers gathered around the flames to eat. These bonfires were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers, and there were rituals involving them. Samhain was seen as a time when the spirits or fairies could more easily come into our world and were particularly active. At these feasts, the souls of dead kin were beckoned to attend and had a place set at the table for them. However, not all the spirits or fairies were peaceful, as some could cause harm and needed to be perpetuated or warded off. This may have led to the tradition of guising, which is a term for modern day trick or treating. All right. Guising is described as um, children disguised in costumes going from door to door for food and coins. The tradition of going from door to door receiving food began in Great Britain and Ireland in the form of souling, where children and poor people would sing and say prayers for the dead in return for cakes. It was traditionally believed that the souls of the departed wandered the earth until All Saints' Day and All Hallows' Eve provided one last chance for the dead to gain vengeance on their enemies before moving to the next world. In order to avoid being recognized by any soul that might be seeking such vengeance, people would don masks or costumes to disguise their identities. Everybody understands? Amos chapter 5, verse 21. First scripture we're going to go to, and it says, I hate I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Everybody understands? The Most High hates Halloween. This so-called holiday has nothing to do with the Most High, our King Yahushua Christ, or the children of Israel. Every high holy day that can be found in the Bible are commandments or memorials for our people to remember the power of the Most High and all the ways in which He has protected and blessed us as a nation. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians have been robbed and ripped away from our history and heritage. This is why we carry on the traditions of people that have nothing to do with us. What business do we have following the culture of the Gaelic people of Europe? These things drive us further away from the Most High and Christ. They keep us in servitude to the so-called white man, which is why the Most High hates it. And I want you to think of all of the crime that occurs on Halloween, all of the shootouts and all of the rapings and the women getting drugged at the Halloween party. Hell, men getting drugged and raped at the Halloween party. You know what I'm saying? This is a holiday that really serves as an excuse for everybody to pretend to be someone they're not so that they can feel better about all the evil and disgusting things that they do. And what's even worse is that we teach this to our children as though it is acceptable behavior. Everywhere in the earth, children are taught don't take candy from strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't enter into strangers' homes. But then on Halloween, we throw all of that caution to the wind and we send our children out against all conventional wisdom and have them to go and knock on a stranger's door who's dressed up as who knows what to ask for candy. It's foolish. It is a tradition of men, and it has nothing to do with so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which is why when we partake in it, there is no benefit for us. Everybody understands. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10, and we're going to read on down to verse 12, all right? Deuteronomy 18 and 10 says, there shall not be found among you anyone that makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Most High thy power does drive them out from before thee. Everybody understands? The Most High commanded the children of Israel to refrain from all forms and manifestations of witchcraft, which included but wasn't limited to conjuring up dead spirits, communicating with the dead, and casting spells. All these things are an abomination or hateful and disgusting to the Most High. And let me just real quick break down exactly what this law in Deuteronomy 18 and 10 through 12 is about. All right. The reality of life, or the reality of the world that we're living in, has been skewed from us by our oppressors' modern portrayals of things that have been on the earth for a long time. I remember as a kid growing up, we thought of a witch, right? Then okay, man, I hope brothers and sisters could be able to get this, right? And this is something really that the world should know, right? We were growing up, we were giving images of witches. We were giving stories like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We were giving stories like the Wizard of Oz with the Wicked Witch of the West, right? All of the imagery that we had as children of witches. Hansel and Gretel was another one. A witch was always an old white lady that lived out in the woods, and where she lives, there's skeletons of dead animals hanging up on trees, and there's little stick figures being made. I remember the Blair Witch Project, little stick figures being made, and the witch was always some old white lady that with stringy hair that wasn't really clean or kept, always had her face twisted and contorted, always in the goddamn pot mixing up some stew. You understand? She's throwing in the eye of newt and the frog leg and the this and the that, right? But what did the witch's potion always do to the person who took it? Right? You go to the witch, you wanted a woman to fall in love with you. The witch would give you a potion to make a woman fall in love with you. The witch would get a potion, she put a potion inside of an apple. Somebody eat the apple and now they passed out. Snow White sleeping and won't wake up again. You understand? You get a witch or get some potion. That it's always some kind of potion that the person you give it to takes, and now they're under your command, or they're acting in a way that you desire. And we were given this visual of a witch in modern times to make us think of something that you wouldn't encounter in real life. A witch, in actuality, in the Bible, is a drug dealer. And if you think about drug dealers today, think about the drugs. Well, I don't think about the drugs. Think about drug abusers who also sell drugs. See, so we've been given the modern image of a drug dealer as somebody that's flashy, somebody that's getting money, that got it like that, somebody that's, looking good and looking classy. Our oppressor has made the image of a drug dealer to be one that is, you know, desirable, somebody to be looked up to. When historically, a drug dealer was someone who lived like, okay, this is what a drug dealer was. Those Edomites who work in meth labs, or those backcountry boys in Tennessee that make moonshine whiskey. You understand? Those drug dealers, those witches that we were given depictions of as children growing up, is an old meth addict white woman who lives out in the middle of where somewhere where no one else is, and she's trifling and dirty and doesn't shower and doesn't clean herself and doesn't care about her appearance. That's why she lives out there in the woods where nobody dares to go. But you know who does go there? Someone who's a drug addict. Think about the places where you've gone to buy drugs in your life. That place is not nice and hooked up, and you don't go to a mansion to buy drugs. You go to the witch's house to go buy drugs. You go to that place that nobody cares about. It's run down, it's disgusting, it's dirty, it's funky, it's stinky. And you say to yourself, who the hell would live here? A witch would live there. The witch is over that stove mixing up that potion, standing over them plants, that table with all of that paraphernalia, breaking down those potions and putting them inside of packs and putting them in bottles. And you go and you get the potion you buy from the witch, and then what do? You want to get high? All you do is take a gram of this, break it down, put it in a paper, you smoke it, you're gonna go to another dimension. You'll enter into another world. You'll float float in the sky. Oh, you want that woman to fall in love with you? You want that woman to be you like her? Okay, give her this potion. Put this in her cup. Put this in her drink. Tell her to have this pill. Put it inside of her cookies. Put this in the cookies and have her eat one of them cookies. And you're gonna have sex with that woman tonight. She's gonna be in love with you. That's a witch. It's a drug dealer. The Most High warned us about drug dealers back here in the Bible. You understand? That's what it means to be a witch. An enchanter is the same thing. An enchanter is a drug dealer. You understand? Let me see. An observer of times or uses divination. So using divination is like someone using a horoscope to convince a woman that you're a Scorpio, you a freak. That's why you want to get them draws up. That's why you just love having sex so much, because you're a Scorpio. Oh yeah, you're a Gemini. It's two of you in there. There's one of you is just reserved and quiet and be chilling, but then the other side of you, she like to get wild. She like to get nasty and freaky. She's outgoing. She's a party girl. You ever wonder why all of them damn horoscopes got something to do with some sex? Oh yeah, them Aries is they hard headed, they bullheaded. They don't want to hear what nobody got to say. They do their own thing. Yeah, they say you're not supposed to be a hoe, but you an Aries girl, so you just go ahead and go after what you want. Or you a Leo, you a lion, you got to be in charge. You want to, you tell everybody what to do. You want everybody to bend to your will. All of that is divination. You understand? They're using like that. They're trying to make things godly or spiritual, divine. You're a divine princess and divine queen, and all of that is it's manipulation. You know what I'm saying? It's witchcraft. It's causing people to believe something that's not true, either by educating them or enlightening them, bringing them to the light, or getting them high, giving them drugs. You know what I'm saying? Or convincing them that, tapping into their low self-esteem or their inadequacies to try and build them up. All of these things the Lord warned us against. You understand? Deuteronomy 18 and 11, a charmer or a consultant with familiar spirits or a wizard or a necromancer, that's somebody who tells you they can talk to your dead folks, talk to your dead people. Your grandmother, she has a message for you from the beyond. All you got, and guess what you got to do? You got to pay these people for all of their services. They not just talking to the dead for fun or for free. No, you got to pay me. You pay me, and I'll talk to your dead grandmother and your dead grandfather. And what we have to understand is that the same way God gives men spiritual gifts to be able to discern and to be able to see things and understand things, Satan has the same power. Satan is an angel as well. And he can, if you choose to serve him, in order to facilitate your downfall, the Lord will let Satan give you powers as well, let you see things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. Talk to people and explain things to them that nobody else would understand if unless they had the power, or they were actually talking to your dead grandmother. All of that, it's real, but it goes against the Most High. And those who dabble in those things suffer the consequences of it greatly. The Lord didn't want us to have to suffer those consequences. All right. Now, all of these things are an abomination to God, but it is absolutely what is pushed and celebrated on Halloween. I don't think after I became an adult, there ever was a Halloween, anything that I involved myself in that didn't have weed or alcohol or pills or ecstasy attached to it. All of this Halloween is really about an excuse to have sex with somebody and to pretend as though, you're someone you're not. That's what all of these holidays, all of these holidays of our oppressor is about. Keep reading on. Halloween is the embodiment of all the wickedness associated with witchcraft that the Most High warned Israel about. This evil isn't new. It was around thousands of years ago, and the white man is keeping it alive today. The problem is that we have chosen to serve our oppressor and not the Most High. What's worse is we push this on our children and cause them to accept this wickedness as their culture. In celebrating this holiday, you voluntarily accept demons into your mind and your spirit, and the destruction that comes from disobeying the Most High is well deserved. Everybody understands? 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. He that says, I know him, and keepeth his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Christians love to say that they know the Most High in Christ. Anyone who says that they know Christ or know the Most High and keep not his commandments, they are a liar, and there is no truth in them. If you celebrate Halloween, allow your children to celebrate Halloween, go to a Halloween party and dress up or give candy to children that knock on your door trick-or-treating, then you don't know the Most High or Christ. If you say that you do, then you are a damn liar. If you have celebrated it in the past, you can repent from the evil of celebrating this wicked holiday. There is a way to know the Most High in Christ, and it begins with learning to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Come and learn the ways of the truth and righteousness given to our people by the Most High, and put away the evil traditions and customs of the so-called white man. Let the devil have his satanic holiday. Everybody understand? Let me get a couple more scriptures on this whole Halloween celebration, just to drive home the point that this thing has nothing to do with us or our people, all right? And we, as a big thing that is a stumbling block for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is, being peer pressured into being accepted or being one of the crowd. There's a lot of these holidays and a lot of these things that we find ourselves celebrating that we otherwise would never have partaken in if it wasn't for trying to be like our oppressor. If it wasn't for trying to fit in. A lot of things black people get involved with, it's so that we don't fit out, so that we don't be the oddball or be the uncool one. Well, what we got to recognize is life is about more than being accepted by people who you shouldn't even care of their opinions. Like because of the lack of knowledge of who we are and where we come from, there is absolutely a pressure on black people to not fit out. When that's what God called us to do. Literally, he called us to be holy and separate from other people, which means we're always going to fit out. It's the nature of our existence on this planet is that we were made to fit out. So the thing that we run from the most is actually the thing that is going to empower us. But because of the lack of knowledge and understanding of who we are and where we come from and what our purpose is, we get dragged into things like Halloween. All right, Proverbs chapter 16, verse 25 says, "There is a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." There's a way that seems right. Celebrating Halloween seems right. Man, you let the kids dress up. They get to be their favorite superhero, man. They get to be Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. They get to be the Ken from the Barbie movie, or they get to be, who knows? I don't know. what the people dressing up as? I don't know. The woman get to be Suki Hana. Ugh. Sexy red. Gross. You get you get to, you know, I don't I just I thank the most high for allowing me to be comfortable with not being a part of the crowd. And that's what the truth does. The truth makes it so that you're comfortable not being a part of the crowd. But there are people out there who absolutely, because they see everyone else doing it, they got to do it. Surely all the other kids are going and trick or treating. It ain't gonna hurt my kid to go trick or treating. There's a way that seems right to a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. There's nothing but death and destruction that comes from disobeying God. Forget the Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas about to come up, Black Friday. People going to lose their lives over these things that seem right, over these things that seem like they make sense. It's the way of the world. You're gonna die trying to join yourself to the ways of the world. Everybody understands. Give me give me Proverbs 3 and 31. Proverbs 3 and 31 says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." And we so void of an identity and a culture that we just want to be a part of what everybody else is a part of. That's why we celebrate Halloween, we celebrate the 4th of July, celebrate St. Patrick's Day, celebrate Thanksgiving. These things have nothing to do with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Clearly have nothing to do with us. Even in the very definitions of the celebrations, your history is not a part of this thing. Halloween, Thanksgiving. I mean, how do you celebrate Thanksgiving knowing that it's a celebration of pilgrims conquering and murdering natives? You surely aren't the pilgrims. Even if you don't know that you're the natives, why would you partake in such an evil celebration? Christmas. Everybody knows Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. He wasn't born in the winter time. What does the tree have to do with Christ anyway? Why are you putting gifts under this tree and singing old Christmas tree? These things have nothing to do with you, but because it's someone's culture and you have none, you want to be a part of it. You want to choose their culture. That's why the truth is the most important thing for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to receive in 2023, because gaining access to the truth and understanding the facts about who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is will fill in those voids that cause us to be pressured into joining everyone else. The second we're no longer pressured to join everyone else and we can stand on what belongs to us, we can improve our condition and our standing in the earth. But it's not something that happens overnight, and it's not something that happens without a fight. It's a daunting task, to say the least. But you can start by just telling the truth to your children and telling the truth to yourself. Well, no, we're not doing these things anymore. These things go against the Most High. They go against God. In the next few weeks, in the next month, I'm gonna make sure I do a breakdown on Halloween. Today's Halloween. I'm gonna do a breakdown on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna do a breakdown on Christmas, and make sure that it's known to our people that it is okay to not join yourself to your oppressor. It's okay to say, "No, we're not celebrating Thanksgiving because it goes against God." Now it's okay to not celebrate Christmas, man. It goes against God. God warned us about this Christmas, and that's why the Bible is so beautiful in that the details of all of these warnings from God can clearly be understood. It's not hard to see that God is against Halloween. It's not hard to see that God hates Thanksgiving. It's not hard to see that the Lord is against you celebrating Christmas. But because you don't know who you are and because you don't know where you come from, you're pressured to not standing out. You're pressured to be just a part of the pack and go with the flow when that is not what God called you to be. With that, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. You brothers and sisters got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the ISUPK. The address to the school here in Memphis is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The call-in number is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. And with that, we're going to get up out of here, Israel. I'll see y'all tomorrow for class.